Hi there all, I'm Trisha Peach, host of the Peach Buzz, and welcome back to our show all about ministry, and thank you for what you do for Jesus and his kids. Some of you are student ministries workers as well. Thank you for being here. I am so excited for this particular episode. Both of my kids were in Awana. I love Awana. I mentioned that before. Also, this church is not that far from me. Most of them that I've featured on this show have been way away from where I live in Wisconsin, Colorado, Oklahoma, all over. But today I am at Appleton Alliance in Appleton, Wisconsin, and it is typical, I think it'd be typical weather for Wisconsin this time of year.
A couple snowflakes.
Yeah, about 20 degrees, spitting snow. But this is a friend of mine. She actually helped me with an assignment for my master's degree last year or the year before. Big help. This is Kris Smoll. She is the director of Kids Ministries. Now, what exactly is your title? Because you have like an international piece.
Right, yeah. I'm the executive director of DiscoveryLand Global. And so what we've done is we've created a Sunday school program here to teach kids and disciple kids on Sunday morning, and it complements the Awana program.
Okay.
So we don't want to view Awanas here and Sundays here. We're trying to look at how do we bridge this gap and become one big discipleship plan for our kids. And so, yeah, DiscoveryLandGlobal.org, that's who we are. Wow. And again, we're very focused, very strategic on how we teach kids.
I love that. And this woman is so busy. I met her when she was working as one of the contributing editors to Kids Matter magazine. And like she said, DiscoveryLand Global, yes, so she is all over, always traveling, always doing writing, amazing, all of the things that they are doing here. And we're going to give you a tour in a minute of their facilities, and we are also talking a little bit tonight about safety and security, which you know is near and dear to my heart. Churches they get a reputation for being a soft target, unfortunately, and we have a responsibility to protect our kids as best we can, to make the effort and do our due diligence. And I have heard from other children's pastors that this place has got it going on Wednesday nights, that their safety and security in Awana is amazing, and I am very excited to see it. So for you, Kris, what would you say would be really important for those of our viewers that are watching, when you think about safety and security for your kids' ministry program? What do you think stands out as really important?
Well, number one, you need to have a plan before your children's ministry.
Ooh,
before it happens, make sure you have your standards set in place. That's why it's not a personal issue if you have to confront or do anything like that. It's already on paper. It's a guideline that has already been approved.
Okay.
So make sure you have your policies in place in advance.
Okay.
And then make sure you stick with them. No compromising.
Across the board.
No compromising, because if you were ever sent to like a court case or anything like that, they're going to say, why didn't you follow your own guidelines?
Oh.
So make sure if you write them, you stick with them.
And I like that, because then it's not I don't like you, I have a personal conflict with you, I'm going to make up a rule after the fact.
Right. And even as a children's ministry director, make sure your senior pastor is 100% behind it also, so they have your back on making those hard calls.
Because they may just immediately go up to the senior pastor.
Absolutely.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So what kinds of things, like what would be an example of a rule that your church has come up with?
Well, there's tons of them. I mean, as far as, you're never alone with a child. We would never see a kid alone with a kid. We value the significance of one. We value one-on-one time. But the reality is, you're going to always see a group of people around that situation. We have lots of windows. You would never see anybody in a room without a window. Our facility was specifically designed with lots of windows for accountability's sake. Definitely on that one. Every person serving with our kids have national background checks, 3 references, and a ministry application completed.
Wonderful.
In order to get your photo ID, you will have to have that completed. On a night like tonight, you will see different kind of lanyards as you're walking around. Anybody who's a normal volunteer will have a photo ID. If for some reason a first-time parent is nervous about leaving their kid, if that happens, there is a form they fill out. They give us their driver's license. We give them an orange lanyard so they stand out. They agree they must remain with that kid. The ministry leader is watching that situation. They're never alone. In order for them to leave, they have to come back to get their driver's license. And so they're never alone. They can't roam the building in any way or form. They're being watched at all times. But we can't be so secluded that like, oh, you can't come be part of us. Because that's kind of freaky for a first-time parent, too.
Right.
So you're trying to balance that out. Guests, even like you touring tonight, will have a lanyard on, so our security guards would know. If you tried to walk around tonight without a lanyard on, they would question you. And they will come up right behind us, and they'll let me know that you don't have a lanyard on. We could experiment with that if you would like, but it would be interesting. They will catch you. Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic. Yeah. And the children's pastor that I was talking to, she's a parent, and she said she was actually relieved when she went to drop her child off and was told, no, we've got this. She said, so the parents don't hang out and just roam around.
No.
And she said, no one was staying and roaming around, which made her actually feel better, having been a children's pastor so many years, that and that is an issue, is do you have parents roaming around? So do you have a way to contact those parents then?
Mm-hmm. I mean, every person, I know we have their phone number, we have emergency numbers, so that's how we would contact. You'll notice kids who are special needs kids, they are with a person with a purple shirt on. They're called our one-to-one ministry. Those parents must remain in the building. So they are in our cafe, which is closed off, that they cannot get in. But if they will actually have pagers, and so we can page them if we need them, they would go to the security guard, and then they would be connected with their kid at that point in time.
So if they're in one-to-one, that's probably a more severe special needs.
It could be anything from attention deficit to it has a range, and every kid is different, because we view every kid in this building as a soul, and we will spiritually challenge every kid in this building. And I don't care what your special need is, we have high expectations that they will learn. We are definitely not their babysitting service or respite care. We are here to teach them the Word of God, and that's what we do.
That's phenomenal. Oh, that's so exciting. That makes me excited to see what they do tonight when they minister to kids and families. Oh, that's exciting. Okay, so they're never alone with the child. People are wearing a lanyard. People are not just wandering the building that you don't know. That's really good right there.
Right. Well, and also all our volunteers are trained. Every person knows their role. And a lot of times where security breaks down is when the leaders are not prepared. So all our leaders, before they arrive tonight, they have all received an email specifically with any updates that they need to know before they arrive. Every game that is played for game time here is already listed out. Everybody knows what games played. All our worship people know what song they're going to be singing. Everybody knows what's going to happen. So we're not wasting time in any way or form going, hey, what's going on? We don't want that. At that point in time, if you don't have a plan, the kids will have a plan for you. That's when it breaks down.
Yes.
We have noticed, though, this year we've had a little bit of more of trauma kids here, which require a little bit more effort, coaching them to be successful. So you'll see that. But our ratio in this building is 1 leader for every 3.5 kids.
Oh, that's
so we have
that's really good.
280 leaders in the building tonight with about 850 kids.
Wow.
So
did you catch that? Just the scope. You're imagining that what you've got is really tough, and I'm not saying it isn't, but she's got 260 leaders here tonight.
280 leaders with 850 kids. So basically it's 2 elementary schools here.
Yes.
With the 280 volunteers and maybe 6 to 8 full-time staff people on duty that help manage the volunteers and keep the status quo up to place. We have team leaders in place who manages teams of volunteers, and between Kirby, the director of Appleton, and myself, we watch the building. We do a lot of. I kind of feel like we're like the lifeguards. We walk this building, and our eyes are out looking,
watching.
We have 8 security guards on duty tonight.
That's fantastic.
And they'll be watching the doors. You'll see them rotate at certain times through the building. They all are walkie-talkied. All the staff have walkie-talkies on for things. We have a medical person on duty tonight, so if we have a medical condition, we can instantly call a medical person too.
I absolutely love that. I know there's been some debate about should churches have security, and of course mine did. Mine had marked security personnel and undercover security personnel and walkie-talkies and always a medical person on duty. So I'm all for that personally. I think that's a phenomenal idea because you'd rather be prepared and have something not happen than not be prepared and then something will happen.
Because you have to watch. I mean, a lot of times you assume it's the leader that would be a prey on a kid.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that we have to watch out right now is false accusations against our leaders.
Yes.
Because kids in school are learning so many terms about that person hurt me, or that leader bullied me, or that leader, touched me in a certain way, and you're like going, okay, not that leader. And, to bring that parent back in who would maybe even do a false accusation and say, hey, you notice the security cameras we have on the ceiling. There's always another leader in view of another leader. We have windows. And you start listing all the ways that you've protected yourself and the leaders and the kids and everybody. Usually they just back down like going, well, I can't, because the reality is kids are conditioned to talk that way because of a lot of classes they have in school. And that's good. And it's good that they can communicate. But sometimes the wisdom of what to say and what not to say.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And false accusations happen.
Absolutely.
They happen. And sometimes the child says it one way and the parent misconstrues it because parents, I'm a parent, we have that fear and we're ready to go in if we think something's wrong. And false accusations do happen, which is why I love the fact that you've got security cameras. And like you said, it's protecting the children, but it's also protecting your staff, protecting your volunteers.
And really, too, that's important, too, that you have the right ratio of leaders. It is so easy. I mean, our count is 1 leader for every 3.5 kids.
That's incredible.
That does give us buffer. That if we ever had, like, the flu outbreak, which is actually happening right now, it can drop a little bit, and we're okay. Yes. We still are above where we need to go. But we do find substitutes for every volunteer that is missed. That is our goal, to find a volunteer for every volunteer who's not here tonight. To keep, again, because we're doing a spiritual thing here. We are working, we're teaching souls the Word of God, and we expect God to show up tonight, and we expect great things to happen. And so it's an amazing thing that happens every night here at Awana. God is at work.
Now, I know I didn't tell you I was going to ask this, but it's made me curious. Our ratio, we were struggling to keep it at 1-7, 1-8. 1-3 is phenomenal. And I'm just guessing that probably your focus on kind of watching your leaders back, having them trained, and that this is ministry, we're expecting big things. Mm-hmm. That's probably really helping your recruiting.
Absolutely. It helps your retention rate because they're part of something, they're part of a kingdom movement. And if they're organized and in their sweet spot, you're going to notice that tonight too. People who like games are going to be in games all night. We won't expect a loud, crazy person to go back to be the spiritual coach of somebody because that's not their thing. Right. So let's put people where they love to do things. That is a very huge ticket for recruiting. Is if you put people where they love to go, they're going to come back. So our retention rate at Awana is at least 80% of our volunteers come back on a regular basis, year to year to year. And you have some that are really traveling up, they'll move to the youth department. But more or less, and you're going to see a lot tonight, is a lot of multi-generations of seniors, youth. We have about at least 40 to 50 youth here tonight serving.
I love that.
A lot of men. I would say 35 to 40% of our leaders are men. So you're just going to see a wide range of different things because we're a family working together to reach these kids.
That's fantastic.
Again, for Christ.
So you can have safety and, in my opinion, a better program by having a multi-generational approach, by having both genders, by having older and younger people serving.
Right. It's a whole grid of people. A grid of people, different ages, of different spiritual gifts. Some people who like to invest more. Some are here on a lower level investment. So again, we're trying to really match and challenge people up. You know what I mean? If you've been a game person and you're ready to move to a different type of position, we're ready to take you there. So
it sounds like a lot of the job is relational and putting people where their sweet spot is, where their giftings are.
right.
And I don't know that all children's leaders realize that when they go into kids and youth ministry. They're thinking, I'm just going to get up front and talk to kids, but really, as you grow, you have to manage people and get them in the right areas, and that becomes more the job.
Right. You're really the coach on the sidelines.
Yes.
And your goal is to get your teammates in there to play. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. We're going to be showing you tonight a tour of their facilities, which are absolutely fantastic. How old is this building? Can't be very old.
We have 2 phases in our building. Our first phase is about 16 years.
Okay.
And the newest phase is about 5 years.
It is beautiful. I've been through their kids' facility before. It is just fantastic. Wait till you see it. You're going to love it. Hopefully you'll get some creative ideas for what you're trying to do, because creativity is king, and it is amazing. It is really neat. And I love their Bethlehem. I do their walk through Bethlehem. I did last December. So we're going to walk through there, and we're going to get some tips live on the scene for safety and security with your kids program.
Right.
All right. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for bringing us along tonight. Sure. Our crew at home, thank you for bringing us. I think we're going to learn a lot to keep our kids and our leaders safe.
Great.
All right. Thank you, Kris.
Yeah.